During the pentagram rite, I felt as if nothing existed beyond the ritual, beyond this temple. And by that, I don't mean that I was denying any external spiritual existence. But in the north, I saw a bend that looped down and up, kind of like an M, and it was an orange. During the regular vibrations, I saw a pattern emerge of purple, and this woven pattern formed larger squares than the knitting. With the last set, there was something like an orange totem pole. It had different branches and stuff going off of it as you went up. One can also think of the Veves. Before that, I saw spaced apart, kind of like a plus symbol, but no symbol in the middle, of green came off in 2 rays of each of these points. And I saw a series of red spots sometimes. Now, when it comes to the reading, during the reading, I heard some noises outside. Some of them were explainable as animal sounds. One sounded like, I don't know, high-speed sand and glass. In the final scrying, I heard and felt, along with my heart rate, I guess, a knocking that seemed to be below. And this was wooden in its sound. And it's, I don't mean, the sort of sound that you hear a tree cracking or, that up there. By the time this is released, I will have abandoned workings in here. Now, this book, as far as tonight's reading, ends on a point of disenchantment. And disenchantment as far as what people call magical thinking, that thoughts are things and then you can just think things into existence. That goes too far. You can re-enchant yourself with an idea of life. You can employ eschatology with realizing that, the spiritual side isn't, other than what's inside you or what is you as a human and those you influence, the end times isn't going to come about just because people try to force the hand of divinity. Terms have shifted, and these terms have, maybe not taken on any resemblance of their older meanings. When I say liberal and conservative, I don't mean like the typical labeling that people use in politics. Certainly, the liberals, I mean, traditionally before my lifetime at the very least, have taken on some good causes that they don't want to, they want to step away from prejudice, and they want to, liberate, right? But this relabeling of a psychopathic or sociopathic capitalist as a liberal, that's again something that, would have to be contended against. Likewise, the idea that one particular culture should impose itself on another as far as, requiring, and, the culture of censorship, and left and right, they've shifted lines so much, right? Sometimes what's a liberal, every once in a while, it makes its way so far left, it makes its way from a right-wing thing of lesser government, and if it's not infringing on somebody else's rights, it's like, hey, maybe if I can give my opinion, but, not forcing things. But it makes its way over towards total fascism. And this total fascism, of course, ends up in, things like what happened leading up to World War II. It's happening right now. So the other side of what could be going on with like America is that America could be working its way towards losing its identity. And I think both things are happening at the same time. It's losing its identity, and some people are trying to force you will be democratic by not choosing your government for yourself. No, we will choose your leaders, and you'll choose among them. And it's like, that's not democracy. And of course, America's never been a democracy. It's been a constitutional republic, much like Iran is actually. And I would disagree with Alexander Dugin in respect of religious integration, and as the step backwards, and the other as European Union and BRICS and all that as the step forward. I don't think we can really speak of it that way. Certainly, religious reintegration can call for the nations to work together, to a call for culture that's beyond just blood and soil. Global power, in some sense, is definitely a real thing, but we need to remember that government will operate on the principles of those who set it up, those who are operating as the rulers, and the ruled. There needs to be some level of consent and control at each stage of things, so people need to be full-on responsible for all that, right?